Hey guys, in this video we are going to talk about why she pulls away, specifically in terms of short-term relationships and long-term relationships. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Anna Jorgensen. I'm a dating coach for men in Vancouver, Canada. So if your girl is starting to pull away, then the first two things we need to look at are how long have you been together and how long has she been unhappy in the relationship. In terms of a woman pulling away, there are three basic stages of a relationship. Essentially, there are actually more stages of a relationship, but for the purpose of her pulling away, we're going to look at the three stages: the honeymoon phase, the comfort zone phase, and the endurance phase. So we're going to kind of call these the 50-yard dash, the 100-meter sprint, I guess, and the long distance run. So in the first phase, the honeymoon stage, that's when you're in euphoria and everything is supposed to be really hunky-dory, basically. So if she's pulling away in this stage, it's probably because you are not acting, that's Molly, you're not acting man enough. And what I mean by that is that you may be acting too needy or too clingy or basically insecure. And a woman doesn't want to be needed. If a woman is needed, she feels like a mother. That goes into her nurturing maternal instinct. And of course, as a mother, you're not aroused. So if you want your girl to get wet for you, you can't act like a child. She can't see you as a dependent. So you need to up your game to be able to keep enticing her to want to come back to you. That's the most common thing that happens when women pull away early in relationships or when you're just dating, unless of course you've majorly screwed up by cheating or getting caught in a big lie. Don't lie. Don't lie. That just shows weakness. But anyway, so if it's more about you being too attentive, then it's because you're being too beta, basically beta. Nobody wants to be basically beta. And then the next phase of the relationship in terms of her pulling away is the comfort zone phase. So this will happen anywhere from 6, 12 to 18 months, that sort of cooling off period where you start to actually see the person for who they really are. So if she starts to pull away during this phase, it could be still that you're acting too needy or clingy, but it might also be that she's starting to see the reality of the relationship and she's questioning whether or not there is actually long-term potential, because this is now where you're like, okay, we've been together for a while. Where's this going? That's what she's thinking, either consciously or subconsciously, and she wants to make sure that she's making the right decision to be with you, because now she sees certain aspects of the relationship that she didn't notice before that might not be what she sees in her future long term. And actually, men should do this as well, but they often don't, because if you're with a woman for that length of time, it's usually because you like her and you're sort of addicted to the sexual bonding and intimacy. So you don't really see the forest for the trees. It has nothing to do with female waxing in the nether regions. That was a sad, naughty joke. Okay, anyway, there may be other things that have started to creep into her consciousness. And essentially, these things come from both parties not trying. So it's essentially that you get comfortable, you take each other for granted. And even though she's probably doing this as well, she's not noticing what she's doing, she's noticing what you're doing or what you're not doing. So that's the second phase of why she might be pulling away or getting cranky, and she doesn't necessarily know how to verbalize it or articulate it, or maybe she does. Maybe she is nagging you and you're not doing anything about it because you don't like being nagged. And essentially what happens in this stage of the relationship is you just have a breakdown in communication because you don't know how to fix the problem. You don't know how to negotiate to common ground. The bottom line is that you've stopped trying. So the next phase is the endurance phase. So this is anywhere from 5 to 10 years and up. And usually what happens at this stage of the game is that she really becomes frustrated at the things that are not happening in the relationship, that there's a huge lack of trying. She might even be aware that she's not trying as well, but you've both gotten into the habit and it's really difficult to, turn that ship around at this point in time. And she might be just getting to the end of her line with trying different ways to get what she needs from you. And then the other thing that can happen at this stage is that Because you've been together so long, you've both grown, or even just one of you has grown, and you've become a different person, and you realize that maybe you're no longer as compatible as you used to be. And she might be a completely different person, or maybe you are a completely different person. It's usually, if the woman is pulling away, she's the one that's grown, and she may have outgrown the relationship and is now wondering if this is really the right thing for her to continue for the long haul, right till the very end. It might even be, the typical midlife crisis. No matter how old you are in the relationship, she might be at a stage where she's evaluating whether or not it's really in both your best interest to stay together, because you're just not the same people anymore. When two people have really grown apart, and even if only one person has grown, they're two different people now, and you have to reevaluate whether or not you're actually still compatible. You may be able to find common ground and still maintain a relationship if the values that you hold around loyalty and longevity are in alignment. You may be able to work around the other things, but it has to be acknowledged and it has to be worked on consciously. So in a long-term relationship, usually a woman is going to start pulling away when one of three things is going through her mind, consciously or not consciously. One is that she is now evaluating whether or not you're the right person for her. She may be questioning whether she made the right choice right from the beginning. The second thing is that, again, she could be bored or feel complacent in the relationship because either or both of you have stopped trying. And again, even if she's the one that stopped trying and it's had a ripple effect in the relationship, it'll still be unfulfilling to her. It's also possible that you've always been too needy or too insecure, and she's healthy and strong enough emotionally to not want to be there anymore because she's outgrown that. She's outgrown the need to be needed by someone who's so needy. If you've never come to trust her, then that might be an issue, because maybe she's now emotionally more healthy and doesn't need to be in that kind of codependent relationship. You've grown in a different direction and you're just simply no longer compatible. So ultimately, she's either lost faith in your masculinity and your ability to lead the relationship and contribute in meaningful ways, or she's bored with your inability or lack of effort in contributing to stimulating her in the relationship, either mentally, physically, or sexually, which is a responsibility for both parties to do that. No, the other person isn't responsible for our happiness, but they are responsible for contributing to it when you're agreed to a long-term committed relationship. Or she's wondered if she's made the right choices in life, whether it's specifically about you or in general, and that's not something you can do anything about. Love to know your thoughts on this video, so please comment. As well, if you like the video, like, share, subscribe, and watch this next video coming up. I will see you in the next video.